पालन के लिए बिना उसकी संतुष्ट करने के और कोई उपाय नहीं है.
So there is no way to please God other than following varnashrama dharma. In Mathura for some days we have been discussing about this. We are discussing about this topic in Mathura. Except for a human being. All the others, jivas, they are not following varnashrama dharma. The human beings specifically, they are instructed by the Shastra to follow varnashrama dharma. Means varnashrama dharma is meant for human beings according to Shastra. You know the story of Manu and Satarupa, the sons of Brahma? So Manu also wrote a book. Which book? Called Manu Samhita book. In the book Manu Samhita, in the beginning, Samhita, what's the meaning of Samhita? What is Samhita? I told already. Just like Achar Samhita. Samhita means like law book. Like Achar Samhita. Samhita, actual meaning of Samhita is like law book. So many rules are there. The animals, they don't follow rules. They do as they want, as they wish. They eat, they sleep, they do everything according to, they have no rules to follow. But the human beings, they must follow rules, and the rules are given for human beings. That human being who does not follow any rule, actually he's just like an animal. That jiva who does not follow varnashrama dharma, that jiva is worse than an animal because he's not following varnashrama dharma. So animals, they don't get married, suppose. Whatever they want, they do. They have kids, they don't have any duties and responsibilities. So, but the human beings, they must follow rules. Actually, to protect the society, this varnashrama dharma was created exactly to protect the society. So 4 varnas and 4 ashrams. According to the qualities and the activities of the person fits into one of them. This is called Deva Varnashram. If you don't follow Deva Varnashram, you cannot really develop. So Srila BhaktiVinod Thakur, BhaktiVinod Thakur explains, the more that a country follows varnashrama dharma, that nation, that country will be successful, especially in spiritual life, spiritual development. So it's not possible to have babies without getting married? What is the problem? Why do you have to use the sacred thread and roll your sacred thread to piss, take a piss, like to urinate? Why the brahmanas, they use the sacred thread? Why the brahmanas use sacred thread? Just to have to put them, roll on the ear when they go for passing water. The donkeys also, they pass water, they piss, and also human beings without sacred thread also. So why using this sacred thread? Actually, they don't have any knowledge about the spiritual life. That's why they're saying like this. Because actually the sacred thread is not something ordinary. It's directly Bhagavan, like Baladev. When the brahmacharis, they get the sacred thread, all this is explained. So what I want to say is that those who are Gnostic, like atheists, they cannot understand that. Srila Prabhupada, he told a very beautiful story about this. One boy, he took Diksha mantras from Gurudev. He got the sacred thread, all the samskara. But he didn't have association of sadhu after.
चलते चलते चले गए,
And then what happened? Some time passed, maybe 2-3 years passed.
गायत्री मंत्र आदि जप करना है,
He didn't know exactly how to chant the Gayatri mantra. He didn't know how to chant Gopal mantra
पूछने पर वो कहते हैं मुझे पता
and Gayatri mantra.
नहीं, दे दिया मैंने इसे।
Somebody asked, oh, why using? Oh, Gurudev gave me and I just use, but
पेशाब करने के समय
I just know that when I pass water, I have to roll the sacred thread on my ear. That's all.
आ जाता है ना भाई, हैं?
I only know that. Okay.
एक दिन क्या की वो पेड़ में चढ़ गए,
Then one day,
बात की पक्का
this is the story of Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada.
पेड़ में चढ़ गए,
So he went to a tree
पेड़ में चढ़ करके कुछ फल उतार रहे थे, तोड़ रहे थे,
and he was taking some fruits from a tree.
कटहल कटहल तोड़ता है, अरे हम कहो,
Jackfruit tree? No, let's say mango.
हैं? तो जैसे भी उसने फल लिखा, अच्छा चलो
Anyway,
है दोस्तों, कोई बात नहीं।
no problem.
और इतने समय उसके क्या हुई,
So he was,
फिसल गया भाई,
so he slipped when he was on the branch of the tree. He slipped his feet and he was about to fall down. Then the sacred thread that was
लग गया,
on his body, the sacred thread was rolled up in the branch of the tree. So he was saved from falling down.
ये जने के तात्पर्य क्या,
So now he said, oh, now I understand why the sacred thread is for. Like, because the sacred thread saved him from falling from the tree on the ground, because the sacred thread was
पवित्र जो
holding him up on the branch.
कितने पवित्र है,
Actually, the sacred thread is such a pure thing. So pure. We should understand the glories of the sacred thread.
हाँ समझे।
Sacred thread.
अभी हम लोग जिस विषय में आलोचना कर रहे हैं, जे राय
So we're
रामानंद
discussing
कहे सधर्म आचरण
Raya Ramananda is saying.
विष्णु भक्ति है। श्रील सरस्वती प्रभुपाद कहती मानव मात्र के लिए
Srila Saraswati Prabhupada that
निश्चित प्रिय एवं प्रयोजनीय है, उसके अतिरिक्त तो सभी कुछ अनपेक्षित एवं वितृष्णामय है। भक्ति युक्त आत्मा के द्वारा ही श्री भगवान वरणीय है। निरंतर समृद्धि विशिष्ट ज्ञानमय कर्मानुगृहित भक्ति योगी धीरे धीरे परम भक्ति रूप ज्ञान विशेष को अद्भुत कराता है। वास्तव जीवन की ये है, वर्णाश्रम धर्म ठीक ठीक से कोई पालन
so if somebody really follows properly varnashrama dharma, the person gets even many kinds of mystic powers, you know.
शास्त्र में ऐसी है,
Shastra explains, yes. If you
ब्रह्मचारी केवल 10 साल
only for 10 years you follow the brahmachari dharma,
10 साल ज्यादा नहीं है, कितने
not more than 10 years. How many years? For 10 years.
है? आप जो बोलोगे वो सत्य हो जाएगा।
Whatever you say, it will become truth.
ठीक ठीक से ब्रह्मचारी
If you follow properly the brahmachari life,
सिद्धि हो जाता है।
you become vaksiddhi. Like whatever you say becomes true.
जो बोल दोगे,
Like whatever you speak, it will be truth.
ऐसे
Understand?
किंतु किसी को अनिष्ट मत करो, जैसे कि कार्य श्राप दे दिया, नहीं देखो भगवान ने हाथ दिया किस लिए,
So God gave you a hand not to kill anyone, but to give blessing instead. Understand or not?
भगवान ने जो दो हाथ दिया
So God gave you a hand
आशीर्वाद देने के,
for you to give blessings.
वास्तव में सत्य नहीं
This is true.
है, किसी को मारने के लिए नहीं
Not to kill anyone, no.
है। तो उसी प्रकार कहने की हमारी तात्पर्य है,
So what I want to say is,
यदि शिख से पालन करे
if you really follow properly for 10 years
तो और भी फल दिखे।
brahmacharya dharma, if you follow for more years, then you get even more
10
fruits.
साल केवल ब्रह्मचर्य जीवन
For even
पालन करो,
only 10 years you're brahmachari, you become vaksiddhi. Whatever you tell, it will be truth.
है। गृहस्थ जीवन भी उसी प्रकार है,
Grihastha life also like that.
ठीक ठीक रूप में
If you follow properly the Grihastha life,
है, वो भी तो ब्रह्मचारी जी श्रेष्ठ बन जाता
you become even higher than a brahmachari. Like sometimes I tell one story that one brahmachari, he left his house,
में चले गए
his family, and he went to the jungle.
20-25 साल तक
And for 10 or 25 years he was in the jungle doing austerities.
में खड़े होकर तपस्या आदि किया।
Then he was standing in one place doing austerities.
कोई ऐसे रूखा सूखा क्या पेड़ होगा से,
So
और उसमें उसके जटा के ऊपर क्या कर दिया,
a bird
घोंसला बना।
thought that he was a dry tree, and a bird made some nest on his head, on his hair.
नेक्स्ट
The bird made a nest and also gave eggs on the head of the brahmachari.
एक पक्षी क्या की,
One day,
उस घोंसले से निकाल रहे थे,
the bird was coming out from the nest,
वो पक्षी ने क्या बीट कर दिया, पैखाना कर दी,
and then the bird
पैखाना कर देने
did
के साथ ही
pass
साथ
stool,
उसके मुंह में गिर गया।
and the stool came in the mouth of the
देखो
brahmachari.
क्या हो गया,
Then brahmachari became very angry.
गुस्सा होकर के केवल पक्षी के तरफ ऐसे
And he just looked at the birds. When he looked at the bird became, he died, turned into ashes, the bird.
तो मैं तो सिद्धि प्राप्त कर
So the brahmachari thought, oh, I obtained some siddhi.
क्या
I got some siddhi.
हैं कीचुन की ओर अच्छा चले गए गांव में आ गए
Then he went away from the forest, he went to the village.
दम्भ हो गए ना मैं
So he was very like proud. Oh, I'm a brahmachari, I got some mystic perfection. So he went to the house of a grihastha and he knocked on the door.
जो स्त्री जो है
Then the chaste wife,
वो क्या कर रही थी अपने पति सेवा कर रही
she was serving her husband. Shastra explains,
थी परम धर्म
to serve the husband is the highest
सती
religion. Like,
सती नारी के देवता कौन है
who is the god of the chaste wife? Is her husband.
ये कथा हम विदेश में कहते हैं
When I say this in the Western countries, okay, if my husband is like Ram, then I'll be like Sita. Okay, they say like this.
हम जब ये कथा सुना
When I tell this,
भाई वो लोग हमारी उत्तर देते हैं
they give me answer. This is not
तो राम बने
suiting for me, because if my husband will be like Ram, then I will be like Sita.
चलो आगे की कथा सुना
Anyway, continuing.
तो उन्होंने किया कि दरवाजा खटखटाया
So he knocked on the door,
और उसमें सती साध्वी नारी
and then the chaste lady, she was serving her husband
सेवा कर रही थी
like God, no? Pati Dev.
धीरे आके कहने लगे ब्रह्मचारी 2 मिनट ठहरिए
He said, Brahmachari, please wait just 2 minutes.
चरण सेवा कर रही
I'm serving the lotus feet of my husband.
सहन कर ले
When he'll fall asleep,
यथा शब्द में दान जरूर
certainly I'll give you donation. Whatever I have, I'll give you donations. And Brahmachari said,
थोड़ी मैं न करूं
do you think I'm your servant? I'll wait. Do
तुम्हारे लिए थोड़ी राजम
you think I'll wait for you? Do you think I don't have anything else to do? Then Brahmachari looked at her.
सती नारी बोले मैं
Just wait, he said, I'm not that bird
तुम मुझे जला दो
that you can burn me alive.
कितना ही कहा दिया
She said like this.
वो विचार करने के लिए कैसे जान लिया
He was thinking, how does she know about it?
हैं चलो आगे चले
Then anyway,
बुनिया के दुकान पर गए
he continued. Then he went to the house of one businessman person,
बिजनेस कर
like some trader, or
बुनिया के पास जाकर
then he went to the
जाकर के कहने लगे भिक्षांग देहि
asking donation. Bhikshandehi, he asked to the
दुकानदार बुनिया बोली
to
भाई
this shop owner. The shop owner said, wait 2 minutes, I have a client here.
इस खरीदार को देख करके आपकी जथा
I will give you the client what he asked, and I'll just give you some donation after some time. Brahmachari said, you don't know who I am.
ऐसे ही कर दिया
Then he looked at the businessman.
मैं वो पक्षी नहीं हूँ
Businessman also told, I am not that bird that you can burn alive.
इसमें पड़ गया अच्छा ये दोनों कैसे जान लिया
Then he was thinking, how do they know about the birds, the story? How did they know?
ना उसके
The
जला
brahmachari was thinking, first of all, he could not burn them, and also they knew about the story.
कुछ नहीं कर पाया
So he tried to look at the businessman and the chest wife lady trying to burn them, but he couldn't. Later he met a saint and asked, oh, what happened? Then the
तुम क्रोध करके और अहंकार
saint told him, you are brahmachari, yes, but because of your anger and because of your pride, all your austerities were destroyed.
इसलिए ब्रह्मचारी की
So the brahmacharis should always be patient and calm and without any anger.
क्योंकि मेरा कहने की तात्पर्य है
What I want to say about this is that
इस संसार में
in this material world,
करण है ब्रह्म क्या बोले वर्णाश्रम का पालन करना है
we have to follow varnashrama dharma, yes.
रिद्धि सिद्धि तो प्राप्ति हो जाते हैं
And you'll get mystic powers, this is true.
किंतु उसे अपव्यवहार करने
But if you use it badly or like misuse it,
मिस यूज किया
if you misuse them,
उल्टा हो जाता
then the fruit will be destroyed or opposite.
है। ये कहीं से यहाँ पर भक्तिवेदांत प्रभुपाद
So Srila BhaktiVinod Thakur is saying,
कि सकर्म आदि गीता में श्रीमद् भागवत कृष्ण भी कहते हैं
even Krishna told about these things in the Bhagavad Gita, about performing our own duties. What Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita.
जत करोसी जत जोसी जदासी जत जत तपसी कुंत्य तत्पुरुष मत और वनम तुम जो कुछ भी करोगे
Whatever you do,
मुझे अर्पित करो
have to offer to me.
है तो तुम्हें कोई पाप नहीं लेना
Then you will not take any sin in it.
क्योंकि इस जगत
You're not incurring sin.
बिना कोई नहीं रह सकता
Actually, nobody can live in this world without performing karma.
रहते जो कहते
Can you
हैं
live?
कर्म नहीं करता
Those who say I'm not performing karma,
मिथ्याचारी सौ उच्चते
they are actually lying.
हम सांस लेते हैं
Like when we breathe.
सांस लेते हैं कि नहीं लेते
You're breathing or not, this is also karma.
हम चलते हैं खाते हैं
We're walking, we're eating.
कर्म के अंतर्गत
This is also inside karma.
कर्म सभी करते हैं
Everybody is performing karma.
तो कर्म की
But
जो कर्म के फल जो है
this fruit of the karma,
वो भगवान में अर्पित
we
करना
should offer it to Bhagavan.
भगवान भी कहते हैं
And Bhagavan also says,
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन कर्म में तुम्हारे अधिकार
you have the eligibility to perform karma,
के फल
but the fruit of the karma I will give.
है। जब आदि कुछ भी करे
Whatever you do, if I sacrifice anything, you have to offer the fruits to Bhagavan.
है। तो इसी प्रकार शास्त्र में जो कह रहे महाप्रभु इसलिए राय रमंद यह से शुरू किया
So Raya Ramananda started this in the varnashrama dharma.
शुरू किया सोपान दिखाया
It's like step by step.
भक्ति मार्ग में प्रवेश की
So-
इसकी एक धीरे धीरे
How to slowly, the steps to,
सीढ़ियां जो है
like a stair, like a steps,
कैसे हम
how to enter the bhakti marga, the path of bhakti.
शुद्ध सदाचार जीवन
So we have to keep a Shuddha Sadacharya life. Means you have to keep good principles, good behavior in your life. Whether you are brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha or sannyas.
आश्रम होगी आश्रम क्या क्या है
So this is 4 ashrams. Brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyas.
ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय वैश्य और
And the 4 varnas, brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya and shudra.
और आश्रम
So these 4 varnas and 4 ashrams,
आदि पालन करके
they have to follow properly the rules,
पारमार्थिक राज्य में
and in this way they can enter the spiritual life.
चैतन्य महा
But here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this context, he told, this is external, please tell me more.
गीता के ऐसे सुंदर श्लोक के चैतन्य महाप्रभु
So this very beautiful sloka of the Bhagavad Gita,
क्यों कहा
Mahaprabhu told it was external. Why?
है तो कृष्ण ही
Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, the Krishna himself that gave the instructions of the Gita. But now the same Krishna is saying,
भाई तुम कृष्ण के रूप में आकर के इसे बहुत तारीफ किया और थोड़ा बहुत बेस बदल करके आकर के क्या
so he told so many things in the shape of Krishna, now he just changed clothes and saying that this is external. What is it?
ये महापुरुष के कहने की तात्पर्य है
Actually, Mahaprabhu is saying that
जीवों की ये स्वरूपानु
the swaroop anubhandi vritti, the inherent tendency of the soul, this still is not manifested in the varnashrama dharma stage.
देना चाहिए
We should give attention to this.
जीव के क्या है एक स्वरूप
So the jiva has a swarupa anubhandi vritti, inherent tendency of nature of the
अनुबंधी
soul.
वृत्ति क्या है की चीज
What is
उसके
this?
बारे में थोड़ा हमें समझना
We have to try to understand what is it. You have to realize it.
है जीव जब गठन होता है
When the jiva is manifest from Tathastha Shakti,
उसके धर्म उसमें
the jiva has a dharma, some nature inside. Dharma means
स्वभाव
nature, swabhav.
है जीव की स्वभावगत जो है
So this nature of the
धर्म
soul,
उसमें विराजमान है
this nitya dharma is always in the
स्वरूप
soul.
है कृष्ण नित्य दास कृष्ण त्रसशक्ति भेदाभेद प्रकाश जीव के सर्वगत धर्म जो है
What is the swarup of the jiva? Is to serve to God.
सेवा वृत्ति अभी प्रकाश नहीं हो रहा
Now the seva vritti is not manifesting.
धर्म आदि पालन करने
But
पर
by following varnashrama dharma,
स्वरूप में प्रकाश ये स्वरूप में वो प्रतिष्ठित हो नहीं पाएंगे
only by following varnashrama, the jiva cannot be established in its swarupa, in his nature of the soul.
और इस संदर्भ में भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर
In this context, BhaktiVinod Thakur spoke a beautiful story. Yesterday I was also telling it.
जिसको हम धर्म कहते हैं
What we call dharma,
धर्म लेकर के
religion
समाज में
nowadays.
कितने
People
विकृत
nowadays,
शब्द
they
चलते हैं, विकृत वर्ग में
they do so many bad things and so many wrong things in the name of dharma, religion.
कहते हैं मैं हिंदू हूँ
Ah, I'm Muslim, I'm Hindu,
कई कहते हैं मैं क्रिश्चियन
I'm Christian,
मैं बुद्धिस्ट हूँ
I'm Buddhist.
है? ये सब लेकर के क्या होते हैं धर्म युद्ध चलते
So
हैं,
they are
जिसको
making
संस्कृत में
holy
युद्ध
wars.
कहते हैं, रेनेसांस कहा जाता है
Renaissance,
धर्म युद्ध
Renaissance,
इतिहास
Renaissance.
हमें साक्ष्य देते
So
हैं,
the
प्रमाण
history
देते
gives us evidence of how many people they fought on the name of
युग में
religion.
इसको लेकर के ना
or
जाने
dharma.
कैसे युद्ध होने लगे
So many fights and wars they took place. But all this is
बहिर् विषय के लेकर के है?
actually just some external
आज हम अपने
thing.
को हिंदू कह रहे हैं
Like nowadays we call ourselves Hindu or Muslim, but after we give up the body, when you're born in a Muslim person's house, then you might say you're Muslim. Like now we're saying we're Hindu, but if we're born in a Muslim family, we'll tell we're Muslim.
है? किंतु वास्तव जो धर्म की
But the
जो
real
परिभाषा
definition
जो
of dharma,
है क्या चीज
what is it?
तथापि भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर
Still, BhaktiVinod Thakur,
इसके अत्यंत सुंदर समन्वय कर रहे हैं भाई
he
लड़ाई मत करो,
reconciled
कभी
all
बात
this.
सुनो।
Don't quarrel, listen to me, BhaktiVinod Thakur told. Although you are a Buddhist, you may be Buddhist or maybe you are
है? मुस्लिम हो
Muslim
अथवा
or
तुम क्रिश्चियन हो
Christian or Judas, like Jew, you're a
वास्तव में
Jew.
एक बात कहता हूँ, भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर
So
कहते हैं,
BhaktiVinod Thakur is saying
जिसमें एक समान नहीं करते, समान नहीं समझते,
there's a reconciliation.
सामंजस्य कर दिया जाए। ये वास्तव पारमार्थिक राज्य में यदि देखा जाए,
If you really analyze in a spiritual level,
धर्म जाजक
each
और प्रत्येक धर्म में
preacher of these religions and all these religions,
देखें,
if we discuss and analyze, we'll see
सभी ने एक ईश्वर के स्वीकार किया,
all of them, they accepted only one God.
एकमेव परम तत्वम, एक ही परम तत्व के सभी धर्म जाजक ने स्वीकार किया।
So they accepted only one God, all of them, all these 5 main religions of the world.
किंतु रस विचार आदि में उसे इसके वैशिष्ट्य दिखा रहे हैं।
But each one has a speciality according to Rasa Vichar.
ठाकुर कह रहे हैं,
In this context, Srila BhaktiVinod Thakur says,
जो बुद्धिस्ट जो है बौद्ध धर्म में,
the Buddhists,
बौद्ध धर्म के हम बहुत सूक्ष्म रूप में यदि विचार करें,
if you analyze about the Buddhism in very subtle detail, like
क्या शिक्षा दी हुई?
what is the teaching that the Buddhists are giving to us, if you really analyze it, they're explaining about non-violence. Non-violence is the great virtue. Ahimsa paramadharma.
The great virtue.
Non-violence is the great
अहिंसा परम धर्म
virtue.
में शिक्षा दिया।
So they are giving us
क्योंकि
this
उस
teaching.
समय जो कालांतर में उस समय समय था, क्षत्रिय लोग इतने दुष्ट हैं,
Because at that time,
स्वार्थ सिद्धि करने के लिए
the Kshatras, they were so bad. And they wanted to actually get their own selfish motivations fulfilled. And in this way, they were actually being so violent. So Buddha Dev established the ahimsa, non-violence.
कि हिंसा के द्वारा जीवों के कल्याण नहीं होता है।
The jiva cannot be benefited by himsa, by violence. So if you burn someone's house, that person later will want to burn your house. So violence doesn't take anywhere.
लाभ कुछ हुआ?
There was any benefit
कुछ नहीं।
in violence? Nothing.
इसलिए कहते हैं, हिंसा के द्वारा नहीं,
So violence cannot take us anywhere.
उसके वास्तव रूप में आप इसके विचार कर लेके अहिंसा धर्म के पालन करें, हिंसा के द्वारा नहीं। और दूसरी क्या दिखा है?
Another point also, Buddhism also we see, speciality of Buddhism.
भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर भी वर्णन करते हैं
In the Rasa Vichara also BhaktiVinod Thakur explains
शांत रस की,
that Buddhism, they have the Shantaras, neutral mood.
शांत रस की विचार दिखाए हमारे भक्तिविनोद
BhaktiVinod Thakur explains how the Buddhists actually have Shantaras, neutrality mood.
है। अपने इष्ट देव में केवल निष्ठा,
Shantaras, they have Nishta in their Ishtadeva.
सेवा गंध ही, ममता नहीं रहता है।
They have sadness in the Ishtadeva, but they don't have Mamata nor service mood also.
भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर वर्णन करते जाए।
BhaktiVinod Thakur explains all
इसके
this.
बाद दूसरी दमें दास्य रस किसमें बता
After
रहे
that, okay, that's Saras who has
जुडिज्म जिसको कहा जाता है,
the Judaism,
हैं?
like the
दास्य
Jews,
रस में दिखा रहे हैं।
Judaism.
सेवा।
They have Dasarasa, this tendency to serve.
तीसरी जो है
Third,
शक्कर रस किसमें दिखा रहे हैं?
who has Sakaras? BhaktiVinod Thakur explains.
ये मुस्लिम धर्म में
The Muslims, the Islamism,
में शक्कर
they really have Sakaras actually. And the Quran explains about Sakaras, friendship mood.
कुरान यदि ठीक से
If you properly really read the Quran, study the Quran of the Muslims,
से हम विचार करें,
and you analyze it, actually,
उसमें उसमें क्या
the
धर्म
Quran
दिखाया?
is explaining about
शक्कर रस के दिखाया।
Sakuros, means a friendship mood.
और क्रिश्चियन धर्म में क्या दिखाया?
And the Christian Dharma,
बाइबल में
in the Bible,
वात्सल्य रस उसमें प्रकाश
explains about Vatsalaras.
है, क्योंकि बाइबल में स्पष्टीकरण कर दिया,
Bible explains very clearly,
लॉर्ड इज माय फादर और आई एम हिज,
Lord is my father and I am his son.
पिता पुत्र के संबंध वहीं पर दिखा रहे हैं,
So this relationship between
पिता
Father
पुत्र
and
के
son.
संबंध उसमें दिखा रहे हैं। तो ये वात्सल्य रस की स्थापना उसमें,
so this established Vatsalaras.
लोग वास्तव रूप में ठीक नहीं,
But people are not really studying well the scriptures of like Christian Dharma, the Christian religion. So they deform, like they degrade this pure philosophy.
शंकराचार्य जो विचार
You see, even the philosophy of Shankaracharya, if we analyze it, if this conception of Shankaracharya, if we see, people don't know the inner modes of inner desires, inner opinions of Shankaracharya, and they actually establish the Mayavad philosophy with his texts, like based upon his text. But in the second chapter of Java Dharma, BhaktiVinod Thakur has so much glorified Shankaracharya, how Shankaracharya is directly Lord Shiva.
और हमारे शंकर के उसने क्या भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर क्या उपाधि दिया?
So BhaktiVinod Thakur gave
उदित आचार्य के
one title
घोषित कर रहे हैं। क्या बोला?
to,
प्राग उदित आचार्य,
to BhaktiVinod Thakur.
देखो कितने
Parag Udit
जो
Acharya.
विचार दिया उनके हित
This
बदल के
title.
विचार, वास्तव
I
में जो उनको
don't know
जो
exactly how to
विचार
translate
दिया
this in English.
है, उस विचार के
So,
ऊपर
because this conception of Shankaracharya, on the basis, on the foundation of the what Shankaracharya wrote and told, all the other acharyas,
बनाया।
they've built a big palace.
तो उस संदर्भ
This is
में
true.
मेरे गुरुदेव श्रील बामन गोस्वामी महाराज एक सुंदर और भी विचार दे दिया, जो शंकराचार्य की जो
And Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj gave even a more beautiful explanation. The four mahavakyas of Shankaracharya. The first one, Aham Brahmasmi,
मैं ब्रह्म हूँ।
I am Brahma.
शंकराचार्य थोड़ी इसको श्लोक थोड़ी रचना किया, ये तो वेदों में ही लिखा है।
You know, actually, Shankaracharya did not write these mahavakyas. They are from Vedas.
किंतु अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, और उसी के संदर्भ में मेरे गुरुदेव देखो,
So in this context, my Gurudev, he explained this mahavakyas compared to the third shloka of Shikshastakam. So Parag Udit Acharya. So Parag means roots and Udit means appears. So he was like the Acharya who appears and gave the roots.
इस श्लोक की मूल तात्पर्य कार्य है।
So Parag Udit Acharya. Okay, so the Trinad Sunicena
ध्यान से आप समझने के प्रयास करें।
relates to the four mahavakyas.
मैं जो लिखते जा रहा है, अहम ब्रह्मास्मि जो शब्द है,
This
और तृणादि विसर्जन
Aham
ये शब्द
Brahmasmi
पूर्ण रूप से क्या है?
completely
विरोधाभास है।
looks like different from Trinad Sunicena. Looks like opposite, completely opposite. One thing Trinad Sunich, being humble, more humble than a blade of grass. Another Aham Brahmasmi, I am God. So I am God is like proud, you know. I am God, I am Brahma.
ये कहने से हमारा दंभिक होता है।
So when you say this, then we become proud.
हिरण्यकशिपु क्या कहा?
Like Hiranyakashipu, he told.
हैं?
What?
ये मैं ही ब्रह्म हूँ।
He said, I am Brahma, I am God. I am Bhagavan. Worship to me.
और सबके तोड़ दो, जितने मंदिर
And all the temples, break them down.
हिरण्यकशिपु भगवान की, देखो दो चार तो कहा दिया।
Hiranyakashipu Bhagavan ki jai. And even 2-4 people said jai.
दो एक तो मिल जाए।
Even, you see, always we find somebody who wants to give jai to Hiranyakashipu. Gurudev joke. So Hiranyakashipu told,
मत दो, क्या जाए दो?
don't give jai to Krishna, give jai to me.
मेरे फोटो में रखा जाए।
Put my photo there. In all the temples,
के विग्रह के सब तोड़ दो।
break up all the, tore down all the deities of Vishnu and just keep my photo in the altar. Hiranyakashipu jai, but now nobody told jai.
कहने की तात्पर्य क्या है? किंतु देखो, ये जो अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, इसके तात्पर्य क्या है? तृणाद भी
So what is the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi?
ग्रहण की जो प्रणाली भक्ति हमारी
How to chant holy names? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains.
अन्य मान प्रतिष्ठा वर्जन शादी चारी गुणे गुणी है या करो श्री कृष्ण संकीर्तन।
You have to chant holy names imbibed with 4 qualities: being more humble than a blade of grass, tolerant as a tree.
द्वारा ही वास्तव रूप में
Actually, by Trinad Sunicena,
वेद वाक्य के द्वारा ही स्थापित हो रहा है।
actually you can establish Aham Brahmasmi by this Trinad Sunicena. Why? Because when you do bhajan or you worship God
भाव लाना पड़ता है।
or any God, you have to have also that mood of the God, of a God.
कौन पूजा करते हैं?
Who is doing puja here?
मंदिर में क्यों कौन पूजा करते हैं?
Who is the pujari in the temple?
हैं? सब करते हैं। अच्छा,
Everybody.
ये पहले क्या करते हो आप बता दो मुझे।
Okay, so tell me what the pujari must do in beginning before worshiping.
बताओ।
Tell me.
न देवम देवम अर्चेत।
Na devam archayit. If you don't have the mood of a devotee, of a God, you cannot also worship to God. That's why that mantra, Bhuta Shuddhi, purification of the consciousness, we have to tell.
शुद्धि के जहर आपका हम आपके शरीर में जो भूत घुसा हुआ
Because if you have a ghost in your body, you have to take out that ghost that is in your body.
इसलिए कहते हैं भूत शुद्धि।
That's why the name of the mantra is Bhuta Shuddhi, purification of the ghosts. What is the ghost in our hearts?
अहमिका।
This ahamika, this
आत्मबोध।
ego, thinking we are the body.
बुद्धि बोध रहता है।
We have this
देहात्म बुद्धि रहता है।
Dhyatma Buddhi, bodily conception is like a ghost.
मेरा देहात्म बुद्धि रहता है।
So if you have bodily conception,
भगवान की सेवा के अधिकारी।
actually you're not qualified to serve to God.
इसलिए अर्चन करने के
So before doing archana, you have to chant one mantra: purification of consciousness, or Bhuta Shuddhi, purification of the ghost. What is the mantra? Naham Vipro. Tell the shloka.
अरे नाहं विप्र न च नरपति न शूद्रो न गृहस्थ बनि जतिर्भाव किंतु प्रद्योत निक्रम परमानंदे पूर्ण मिताब्दे गोपी भोक्तुर पद कमलोर दास अनुदास। अच्छा हो गया कि नहीं है? ये
So this is very important. So actually the Aham Brahmasmi is also inside this mantra.
मेरे गुरुदेव के जो है
You should read
चरितामृत जो प्रकाशित है
the commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita that my Gurudev manifested. It's such a beautiful explanation. Read it, this commentary.
में जो है ये जब भूत शुद्धि नहीं
So if you're not Bhuta Shuddhi, if you're not purified your consciousness,
सारी नहीं बन सकती
you're not qualified to do Archan.
मैं गोपी भोक्तु पद
You have to think, I am the servants of the servants of the servant of Krishna, the beloveds of the gopis. And this is the special meaning of Aham Brahmasmi. So Aham Brahmasmi is only a part of a sentence. The full sentence in the Vedas is not Aham Brahmasmi.
क्या कि ये सामान्य वाक्यों के लेकर के
So Shankaracharya, he just took part of that sentence just to delude the people. So try to think about what is the whole sentence. Suppose one king told, right here, because people are pissing too much here, so you should write, don't piss here, like don't urinate here, don't pass water here.
फिर देखो
It's prohibited.
पहले लिखना पड़ेगा
But you have to write it before sunset. King gave this order.
सूर्यास्त उपाय लिखो मत
Don't write after sunset, okay? So the servants of the king, he was writing,
इधर पिशाब
here to urinate,
नहीं वो तो लिख रहे ना
he was writing.
एखाने पिशाब करीबन ना
Here,
और हिंदी में क्या लिखोगे बताओ अच्छा
so they are saying in Hindi that not would be in the middle of the sentence. Like here, do not
लिखने ना
urinate, but in Bengali it would be in the end. Here, urinate not. In Bengali they write like this.
यहाँ पर पिशाब
So that's why he was writing the sentence, but then
सुबह उठते ही सभी लोग पिशाब करना शुरू कर दिया
but he didn't finish the sentence. So in the next day, everybody was urinating in that area. King told, "What is going on?" "Oh no, you told me to write before the sunset, and after sunset I stopped writing. I couldn't
बोले नहीं जल्दी आप ही लिखो
break, like not fulfill your orders." Then King told, "No, finish the sentence quickly. Right here, it's forbidden to urinate. Here, urinate is forbidden because he wrote only half of the sentence. The servant, like here, urinate, but he didn't write completely. Oh, don't urinate."
ठंडी बात तो समझ में आ रहा है
So
सच वाक्यों के लिए
and when you say Aham Brahmasmi is only one part of a sentence of the Vedas, part of it. And people take only this part and think it's complete, but it's not. What is the complete sentence of the Vedas? You have to take this into consideration.
ब्रह्मास्मि
So Aham Brahmasmi, by the Aham Brahmasmi,
हमें क्या सूचित कर रहे हैं
what is indicating Aham Brahmasmi?
हो जाती है
We belong to Brahma. Belong to Brahma. We belong to God.
इसको विचार लेना पड़ता है
You have to analyze this.
मसीह
And Tat Tomasi, you are that. Generally translated as you are that. Tat Tomasi. It doesn't mean that you are Brahma, God. No.
तुम
You
तस्य तमोसि
belong to Him also.
उसके वो
You belong to Him.
पुत्र पिता के होते
Just like a son belongs to the father.
ठीक उसी प्रकार
In the same way.
दे रहे हैं ये किंतु इसके अर्थ लोग गलत समझते हैं
But people don't understand the proper meaning.
लोगों की उसी बार इसलिए ऐसे चलते जा रहे हैं चलो इसी प्रकार हमारे गुरु पादपद्म
Anyway, so Guru Padma, he connected the
के चार जो महावाक्य
4 mahavakyas of Shankaracharya.
त्रिनाद भी
He connected to Trinad Pisunich,
के ऊपर सुंदर रूप में
the verse of Shikshastak, and he gave a beautiful explanation.
तो आगे हम कथा यहाँ पर
Okay, so continue the katha.
जी प्रभु कहे पढ़े श्लोक साध्य निर्णय राय कहे स्वधर्म आचरण
Mahaprabhu told, establish the sadya with quotation of the Shastras.
पालन करने पर भी
And actually, only following varnashrama dharma, you cannot get swaroop siddhi only by following varnashrama. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita explains.
यदि कृष्ण नहीं भजे सस कर्म करि देसई गौरव परि मरे हैं चार वर्ण और आश्रमी यदि केवल अपने वर्णाश्रम धर्म पालन करे
If you're only following varnashrama dharma according to your varna and ashrama, but you're not doing bhajan of Krishna, after that you have to go to the road of Narak, the hell. To hell? Yes. And which hell? Road of Narak. What is this hell? Road of.
यहाँ पर छोटे छोटे कीड़े
In this hell there are many small insects,
क्या होता है
and they
जहरीली होता
are very poisonous small insects, and they bite,
है जलन होता
and you feel so much burn in your body.
है लेकिन में छोटा है
They're very small insects,
किंतु वो काटने
but when they bite you, you feel so much pain.
है हाँ तो उसी प्रकार कहते हैं रौरव में नरक
So you have to go to road of Narak.
श्रीमद् भागवत में भी कहा गया
Bhagavatam also says, tell me the shloka of the Bhagavatam that says about this,
वर्णाश्रम धर्म नहीं पालन करने
that if you don't follow varnashrama dharma,
वर्णाश्रम धर्म पालन करने पर भी यदि कृष्ण भजन नहीं किया
if you don't do Krishna bhajan,
न भजन्ति अवजानन्ति पतन्ति अध है क्या क्या श्लोक है बताओ?
What is the shloka? Tell me. Yes.
उसको भी नरक में जाना पड़ता है.
So you have to go to hell.
विचार है.
So this is the conception of the scriptures. If you follow varnashrama but don't do bhajan, you have to go to hell. Oh, I'm a brahmachari. Then what? You're a brahmachari. Then what? I'm a sannyasi. Then what?
इसलिए कारण है. बोलो
That's
कि
why.
काज आचे सन्यासी. प्रथमे बद्ध है दंभ पासे. प्रथमे बद्ध है दंभ पासे. दंभ पासे.
So they are bound by the pride.
दंभ मैं सन्यासी.
I'm a sannyasi. Oh.
दंडा चलाता हूँ.
I'll give danda to everyone, like I'll hit everyone with my danda.
देखिए कि काज आचे सन्यासी.
So they have,
प्रथमे बद्ध है दंड पासे. अहंकार आ जाता है.
because when the person gets this position, the person has so much proud.
किंतु वही सन्यासी की जो तात्पर्य
But
है क्या चीज?
what is the real meaning of sannyas?
भगवत भजन.
To do Bhagavat bhajan,
निवृत्त करियो भजन. वृंदावन में जाकर के
to go to Vrindavan and alone
भगवान के भजन करें.
do Bhagavat bhajan. If you haven't done bhajan, only follow the sannyas dharma, there's no fruit actually.
बताइए कुछ.
Any fruit? No.
इसलिए ब्रह्मचर्य
So the brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprasti, or the sannyasa.
सभी धर्म पालन करते हुए मूल लक्ष्य
The main thing about following all these rules of these ashrams is to worship Bhagavan, God. If you're not worshipping God, if you're not doing bhajan and chanting holy names, worshipping Vishnu,
के क्या
what is the benefit in following the varnashrama dharma? Nothing.
प्राप्त होता है.
Cannot get anything.
इसलिए यहाँ पर भी महाप्रभु जी कहा
So here Mahaprabhu is saying, this is external, tell me more.
क्योंकि जीव के जो स्वरूपानु
Because the swaroop anubhandi vrutti, the inherent nature of the soul must be manifested. And only by following varnashrama dharma, it's not enough to manifest this tendency of the nature. So this is not the inner mood of Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu said, tell me more.
और इसके आगे महाप्रभु राय रमन ने क्या कहा?
Then what Raya Ramananda told? After?
कृष्ण अर्पण राय कहे हैं? कर्म अर्पण हैं? कर्मार्पण
The essence of all perfection is to offer all the results of our activities to Krishna.
भगवान ने अर्पित कर दो. जत करोसी जत जोसी जदासी जत जत तपसी तत् जत तपसी तत् कौन सा तत् अर्पण भगवान में अर्पण कर दो सब.
Just offer everything to Bhagavan.
करना नहीं पड़ेगा.
Then you won't need to suffer the results of your activities. Bhagavad Gita explains.
भोजन मुझे करना है.
If you want to do bhajan,
भोजन करने के लिए क्या चाहिए?
no sorry, you need to eat, right? And to eat,
द्रव्य सामग्री चाहिए.
you need food.
जो भोजन करोगे उस भोजन के पहले किसको करो?
So before eating, you should offer that food to Bhagavan.
प्रसाद ग्रहण करो.
Then you take the prasad of Bhagavan.
यदि भगवान की अर्पित नहीं किया
If you haven't offered to God, then there's no fruit in it. Like you won't get good results. So
महाप्रभु कह रहे हैं
Mahaprabhu is saying,
ये भी बात माने
this is also external, also external.
इसलिए कहते हैं यह बात जो आगे कहो आप
So tell me more. This is external, he said. This is external.
चाहते हैं क्या चीज?
So what do I want to hear about? I want to hear about the swarupa anubhandi vrutti, the inherent tendency of the soul.
करते चैतन्य महा
So doing like this,
दे दें
Mahaprabhu,
वर्णाश्रम धर्म के कहते हैं ये आगे इसके आगे कहो कर्म
about varnashrama dharma, he said, okay, offer more, tell me more. About offering the results of the activities to Krishna, okay, tell me more. So what actually Mahaprabhu wanted to hear about? What he wanted to hear about?
राय रमन आगे कहते जा रहे हैं क्या बोले?
What was that Raya Ramananda told that Mahaprabhu liked, really? Even the highest instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, what was it? Sarva dharma parityaja.
मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षामि मा शुचि.
Even this instruction of the Bhagavad Gita,
धर्म के परित्याग करो.
give up all the dharmas,
धर्म के परित्याग करें.
duties and responsibilities, and only come to my shelter.
मैं तुमको वचन देता हूँ.
I give you my word.
ये धर्म त्याग करने से तुम्हारे जो पाप लगेगा इस पाप से तुमको मैं क्या त्याग कर
The sin that you incur in giving up your duty and responsibility, I will free you from all the sins.
आगे कहो.
Mahaprabhu also told this is external. Even the highest instruction of Bhagavad Gita, Mahaprabhu told this is external.
सर्वश्रेष्ठ वाक्य.
See, the highest instruction of Bhagavad Gita, Mahaprabhu told it was external.
वही महाप्रभु करके कह रहे क्या आगे बात. क्यों?
Why?
ये जो धर्म जो पालन सर्वधर्मन पर कौन सा धर्म है?
So which dharma you should give up? That Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. Loka dharma, worldly duties.
धर्म हम त्याग करते जा रहे हैं.
We are giving up worldly duties.
आदि में उन्हें बहुत कुछ आ जाता है. जैसे कहते हैं माता पिता आदि की सेवा
Just like, for example, we should serve our parents.
शास्त्र में ऐसे लिखा गया.
Shastra explains those who don't serve their parents after that,
उनको शरीर को क्या करते हैं?
their body will be
संरक्षित रखा जाता है
kept in one place, and then you have to come back and eat your own dead body. The evidence is there in the Shastras. So Shastra says, serve your parents. Those who don't serve their parents, we got our body from our parents. So those who are dishonoring or not the parents and do everything without honoring the parents like this, God is not pleased with them. So Shastra explains, Pitta, the father, is like God, heaven. Father is religion. Father is religion. Father is like Swarga. If your father is pleased with you, then all the gods and forefathers, they also become pleased with you. Ramachandra showed this. In the dynasty of Raghu, they prefer to die than to break up promise. So beautiful. Ramachandra established this in this world. To follow the order of his father, Ramachandra, he went to the jungle for 14 years and he suffered so much in the jungle. We see this in the Ramayana. This is true or not? So Ramachandra showed this in this world. So this is Pitta Dharma. So even when they had that meeting in Chitrakuta, very great assembly, you have seen or listened about this in the Ramayana. Everyone in Chitrakoot, they told Ramachandra, you have to come back to Ayodhya. Even Kaikeyi also told. Kaikeyi, what did she say? Kaikeyi told, look, really, I asked those blessings from your father, 2 blessings. One blessing is that you would go to the forest for 14 years. Second blessing was that Bharat would be the king. But now I'm taking these blessings back. I want them back. So you open a lawsuit in the court, but you can ask them back and say, no, we have found some reconciliation. And judge also said, okay, lockdown time, so okay, let's finish this lawsuit case. Okay, no problem. This is true or not? So if you're suing someone or something, and you don't need to spend money, you can also like retract, like you can cancel your lawsuit. So in the same way, KK told. चलो ये व्रत मैं ही लिया था, मैं उठा लेता, रामचंद्र वापिस चलो. किंतु रामचंद्र ने क्या बोला? Rama, please come back. Then Ramachandra told. क्या बोला? बताओ, किसने बता सकते हो? Who can tell what Ramachandra told? You tell. क्या बोले? What did he say? किसने रामायण देखा किसने? Has anyone seen the Ramayana at least? You forgot the Ramayana. Ramachandra gave a beautiful answer. He told, oh mother, time has passed. Because you gave your word to my father that time. So you had some deal with my father. This was between you and my father, not with me. Now my father has passed away. My father told you, he gave you 2 blessings and you asked for them back. So it's not your fault. So you see, Bhagavan Ramachandra, not even in 1 second, not even in 1 moment, Ramachandra, he told anything wrong, told anything bad about KK. He never said anything bad about KK. Lakshman, Bharat, all of them. Somehow they spoke something bad about KK sometimes. Even Bharata told, from now on, you are not my mother anymore. He told, Bharata told. You see? Lakshman, he was so angry also. But Bhagavan Ramachandra, we see in the Ramayana, how he was giving so much honor to KK. And he told, oh mother, time is gone now. Because you had a deal with my father, not with me. Isn't it? It was with my father that this thing that you asked that I would go to the forest for 14 years and Bharata would be the king. This you had deal with my father. So you asked from some blessing from my father, and father gave. That's it. But this time is over now. This time is past. So Ramachandra established this ideal behavior in this world. How much he was also giving honor to KK. Gurudev also told one story that after Ramachandra came back after 14 years, Ramachandra sat on the throne, everything was reconciled, everything was okay. One day, KK, she came to Ramachandra and told, "Oh my son, Ram, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something." Ramachandra told, "Oh mother, tell me." Many years have passed, and Bharata is not even once calling me mother again. He's not calling me mother. All the mothers, they want to hear this. They have their mood, this mood. They want to say, "Oh, I want that my son will call me mother." Ramachandra told, "Oh mother, I'll try." Then Ramachandra was alone one day, sitting, and he called to Bharat. Bharat came. But Ramachandra told to Bharat, "Bharat, I want to give you one order, one instruction." When he said this, Bharat immediately, he took hold of Ramachandra's feet and told, "Oh brother, what is the order? I can fulfill all your orders except for one. Except for one order I cannot fulfill." What? "I will not call Maharani Kaikei, the Queen Kaikei. I will not call her mother anymore. I cannot call her mother." Ramachandra said, "Exactly this order I wanted to give you." See? So Bhagavan Ramachandra, he established the varnashrama, the marjada, the rules of society, and nobody did like him in the past nor in the future. So if we study Ramayana and see the Ramayana, you see how he was establishing perfectly the varnashrama dharma and all the rules of society, the etiquettes, and very amazing thing. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Pada in the book Ujjwal Nilamani, he described, if someone really wants to enter Krishna's pastimes, you have to follow the ideal behavior of Ramachandra, and his ideal behavior. If you don't follow his ideal behavior, then actually you cannot enter in the spiritual life. So the conception of Ramachandra, if you analyze this, you have to follow these ideal behaviors of Ramayana, follow varnashrama dharma. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, this is external. Mahaprabhu told, why he's saying that it was external? Because the swaroop anubhandi vritti, the inherent tendency of the soul, when does it manifest? The inherent nature of the soul, when? When you listen sadhu sanga and harikatha. When you are in the association of sadhu, listen harikatha. It explains clearly. When Raya Ramananda told one verse, that you have to give up everything, and you have just to sit in the sadhu sanga and listen to the message of Vaikuntha. Listen to the sweet kathas. What is the shloka? From Brahmastuti. The sweet pastimes of Bhagavan, if you listen this, then the swarupa anubhandi vritti, the inherent tendency and nature of the soul will manifest. You already have it with you, but until you associate with sadhu, the swarupa anubhandi vritti will not manifest. By the association of sadhu, it can manifest. You already have that potency with you. So that's why sadhu sanga is so glorified everywhere. So glorious.
कितना सुंदर,
So beautiful.
बलदेव अपने माँ
Bhagavan Kapila Dev,
ये श्रवण कर,
he told this verse to his mother Kapila Dev, oh Devahuti.
ये सत्संग के द्वारा हमारे क्या है, ये जीव ये स्वरूप अनुबंधी वृत्ति,
So by the association of sadhu, the swaroop anubhandi vritti, this nature of the soul, will manifest. You already have it with you.
ये है कि नहीं?
The ghee is in the milk or not?
घी तो है,
The ghee is in the milk.
घी
But
कैसे कर प्रकाशित
how to manifest that ghee from the milk? How to manifest, see the ghee?
ठीक उसी प्रकार
The same way,
गठन के
when the jiva manifests from Tatastha Shakti,
वो तुम्हारे पास है सर्वानुबंधी वृत्ति,
you already have this swarupa anubhandi vritti, this nature of the soul. But by the cessation of sadhu, listening to Hari Katha, slowly, this slowly
आसित होगा
manifests.
तात्पर्य है। इसे सत्संग जितने भी कथा भी कही गई,
So all the kathas,
सब कथा की एक ही सार
the
है,
essence of all kathas is only one, association of sadhu. The influence, the power of the association of sadhu. By the association of sadhu,
जितने भी श्लोक देखो सब
all the shlokas you see,
जलाग्नि सूर्योई
like this Raghunatha Pasanajati,
पदरज अभिषेकम, सत्संग की महिमा।
they describe the glories of sadhu sangha.
प्रहलाद महाराज के श्लोक जितने
Also the shlokas of Prahlada Maharaj, you see all the shlokas that Prahlada Maharaj told. Everywhere he's also describing the glories of sadhu sangha.
जिस सत्संग के द्वारा ही
So by the sadhu sangha,
हमारी जीव के जो हमारे हृदय में जो पड़ा हुआ है
this nature that was in our hearts,
स्वरूपानंद वृत्ति,
this swarupa anubhandi vritti will manifest.
इसलिए तब महाप्रभु कह रहे हैं
So when he started saying this, then Mahaprabhu said, yes, you got it, speak more about it.
आदि के द्वारा
By listening Hari Katha,
प्रकाशित होगा।
then this will manifest, this nature of the soul, inherent nature of the soul.
स्मरणं पाद सेवनं अर्चन बंधन दास सख आत्मनिवेदनम इति पुंसार्पिता विष्णु भक्तिश्चेत नवलक्षण। यहाँ पर पुंसां करने से क्या तात्पर्य?
So when we say pumsam in this verse, what is the meaning?
केवल
Purusha
भजन करेंगे
means only the male will do bhajan, the ladies will not do bhajan.
ये प्रश्न करते थे।
So Gurudev used to ask this.
यहाँ पर पुंसां लिखा है ना,
Pumsa is written in this verse, pumsam.
केवल पुरुष लोग भजन
Means only the only men will perform bhajan and ladies no? Not?
बोले नहीं।
No.
यहाँ पर पुं शब्द के
When I say
द्वारा,
pumsa
शब्द के
means
द्वारा
purush, means
क्या सूचित किया?
purush is indicating what?
जी माता कौन सा जी?
The jiva, which jiva? Mukta jiva or Bada jiva? Is speaking specifically about the
स्त्री शरीर
Bada jiva, conditioned souls. So you're in the body of a lady,
क्या चीज है?
but you have Purusha Bhiman, the mode of being the enjoyer.
भोक्ता अभिमान।
Bhokta Bhiman, mode of being the enjoyer.
भोक्ता अभिमान रहता
So until you continue having the Bhokta Bhiman,
अभिमान रहता है।
then you're still Purusha Bhiman. If you have the mood to enjoy, then you're also Purush. You want like to be the enjoyer.
पुरुष अभिमान को त्याग देना पड़ेगा।
Like, so you have to give up this Purusha Bhiman.
स्त्री अभिमान आ जाता है।
Then if you give up Purusha Bhiman, like the male mood or like the
सेवक है।
enjoyer mood, you have the Stri Bhiman, the mood of being a woman in the meaning of being the servant. To serve that one who needs to be served, has to be served. So if we don't have the Sevaka Bhiman,
तब वो पुरुष अभिमान आ जाता है।
then the Purusha Bhiman will come. If you don't have the mood to serve, then you have the mood to enjoy.
ये भी सुंदर करें।
So this is also very beautiful.
केवल श्रवण भक्ति है कि श्रवणार्थ भक्ति।
So okay, listening about it, Shravanakya Bhakti,
भक्ति जो है श्रवण कीर्तन विष्णु धर्मविदा जो भक्ति है।
Navavida Bhakti, 9 limbs of Bhakti and everything.
तो इस भक्ति पालन करने के पहले क्या
But before following Bhakti, we have to,
अपने को क्या करना है? समर्पण करना।
you have to surrender yourself. You have to surrender.
पुंसार्पिता अर्पित करना पड़ता है।
So you have to surrender yourself
गुरु और भगवान में।
to Guru and Bhagavan.
केवल जब हम अर्पित नहीं कर रहे हैं, अपने को अर्पित नहीं कर
If you haven't offered yourself,
भक्ति नहीं
then this is not Bhakti actually.
है। केवल श्रवण करने से नहीं होता। श्रवण के पहले क्या करना?
Shrav will not be enough on the listening. Before listening, you must
गुरु के चरण में अर्पण करो।
surrender yourself to the feet of the Guru.
तब होता है श्रवणक भक्ति।
Then it's Shravanaka Bhakti. Then it's a limb of Bhakti.
पालन विधि दिखा रहे हैं।
So how to follow
महाप्रभु
Bhakti?
इसमें संतुष्ट नहीं।
But Mahaprabhu is not yet pleased.
नहीं है। महाप्रभु कहते हैं
Mahaprabhu told,
यहाँ तक शुरू कर दिया।
okay, this is it. Start from here, then yeah, this is it. Speak more. This is the beginning of Bhakti.
भक्ति को आगे हम
But how to develop in Bhakti? How?
अभी बंद करना है कि नहीं?
Have to stop now, right?
श्वास आपको। अच्छा हमें तो बोले तो हमें तो कोई भी नहीं रहे। जब सब चले जाएंगे तब कहेंगे हमारे
I'll continue speaking until everybody leaves this place. Generally, I don't have time to stop. Like,
देखो
anyway, okay, so
महाप्रभु क्या करे? आगे कहो।
Mahaprabhu said, yeah, that's it. Speak more.
हो गया।
Okay, Bhakti started now.
भक्ति के कब होता है?
When bhakti starts, when you take shelter of the bona fide guru,
जब हम दीक्षा मंत्र आदि
and when we take Diksha mantra
ध्यान करते हैं,
and we start following bhakti,
हम चल रहे हैं.
then we come to bhakti.
जब गुरु पदाश्रय नहीं हो रहा है,
But if you haven't taken shelter of lotus feet of guru, you cannot really enter bhakti.
उसमें लिखा गया
So
गुरु पदाश्रय.
that's why Adu Guru Padashraya. First you have to take shelter at the lotus feet of the guru.
जे तारे कृष्ण नहीं तजे आर सब मरे अकारण. गुरु पदाश्रय. ईश्वर क्या है? दीक्षा शिक्षा विश्रम वेनो.
So then after taking shelter of lotus feet of guru, then you follow four limbs of bhakti. Diksha, Shiksha, serving with intimacy, etc.
ये सुनना चाहते
Then Mahaprabhu actually wanted to listen from Raya Ramananda. Okay, two kinds of bhakti,
वैदिक भक्ति के
Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti.
बेसमेंट करके
On the basis of Vaidhi Bhakti,
रागानुगा भक्ति
we can go towards Raganuga Bhakti.
मार्ग रतजने स्वाधीनता रत्नदने राग मार्गे कराना प्रवेश विधि मार्ग की आदर देते हुए
Then honoring
करते हुए
Vidhi Bhakti,
राग मार्ग की तरफ.
we can go to Raga Bhakti.
यदि विधि मार्ग को नहीं पालन कर
If we're not following Vidhi Bhakti, the rules and regulations, and you call yourself Raganuga, actually
इंद्र आदि संचालन करते हैं, भोग विलास में मत करा.
you're actually absorbing sense gratification. And this bhakti you're performing is actually only a
कई कल्पते.
disturbance to the society. What is the verse?
श्रुति स्मृति नारदादि पंचरात्रिक विधि बिना एकांतिक हरेर भक्ति उत्पादक ही केवल उत्पादक करने का मैं.
So you're only creating disturbance in the society.
तो कल्याण तो बहुत दूर की बात है, दूसरे की भी कल्याण नहीं होता.
So you're not benefiting yourself nor anyone else.
इसलिए कहते हैं विधि मार्ग चले. किंतु लक्ष्य रहेगा ये कैसे ब्रजवासियों की
But your goal should be Raganuga Bhakti. How to get one rays of these moods of the Vrajavasis. How can this mood appear in our hearts?
इसलिए रायरमन ने दो श्लोक
So Raya Ramananda,
प्रस्तुत किया.
he presented two verses.
वो क्या है? नाना
What are they?
पूजन इस अर्थ बंधु है. और दूसरी एक
And second verse,
है कृष्ण भक्ति रसभावितमति क्रियतां यदि कुतोपि लभ्यते तत्रापि लौलमूल्यं जन्म कटि सुकृतं लभ्यते. एक वैदिक भक्ति के श्लोक है
so one shloka about Vaidhi Bhakti,
और दूसरी जो है
another
उभय भक्ति के ऊपर
about
ये श्लोक लिखा है.
Ragamai Bhakti.
भक्ति रसभावितमति क्रियतां यदि कुतोपि लभ्यते. यदि किसी ऐसे कोई महान
If you find some exalted,
हो जाए
self-realized saints,
तो मन
and that his heart and his mind is completely
रसमय में
absorbed in Krishna Ras, like in the rasas, mellows. Gurudev gave an example. Just like imagine a rasagula.
रसगुल्ला कहाँ रहता है?
The rasagula is inside the rasa, that syrup of sugar. So in each particle of the rasagula, it's full of the
समाहित है.
sweet liquid.
खाने से जैसे
When you lift a rasagula, the rasagula will be dripping,
ऐसे कोई संत महान
like dropping that sweet liquid.
हो जाए.
So if you find a saint like this, who is completely absorbed
माधुर्य
in the rasa madhurya, the sweet mellows of Radha Govinda,
ये कृष्ण भक्ति रसभाविता मति मति माने बुद्धि जिनकी मन
Mati means buddhi, his intelligence, his mind, his heart, completely
ब्रज रस माधुर्य
is absorbed in the Braja Rasa Madhurya, in the sweet mellows of Braja, always.
की लीला
He's always
कथा में
absorbed in the Krishna's pastimes and katha.
ऐसे संत महात्मा की
If you find a saint like this in his association, if you see someone like this, then you should
उसके कुछ दक्षिणा दे दो.
give some donation to him.
हैं? उसके दक्षिणा दो. क्या दक्षिणा दो?
But which donation you give to him?
हैं? लोभ रूपी मूल्य के द्वारा
Your greed is your,
हरि कथा श्रवण
what you give to him. Greed to listen to his Harikatha.
कि हमारी लोभ उत्पन्न हो जाए.
You have to have this, this greed will come for Harikatha.
कृष्ण भक्ति रसभाविता मति क्रियता यदि कुतोपि लभ्यते लौल मूल्य जन्म कटि सुकृतं लभ्यते. अनेक जन्म के सुकृति के द्वारा
From Sukriti, from many lives,
पालन के द्वारा
and following Vaidhi Marga,
ब्रज प्रेम माधुर्य प्रेम प्राप्त करना संभव नहीं.
you cannot get this Vraja Prema, even by Sukriti for many lives and Vaidhi Marga, only by the Lobha, this eagerness, greed. What is Lobha, greed?
मुझे प्राप्ति करना ही
I must attain it.
है. जिस प्रकार
I have to attain it. Just like when you're thirsty,
क्या करते हैं? पानी के लिए हम तड़पते हैं.
we want so much to drink water.
देखो ठीक उसी प्रकार
So in the same way,
कठिन कथादि श्रवण करते करते
listening Harikatha slowly,
की भाव माधुर्य कथा श्रवण करते
listening to about the bhavas of the Vraj Gopis, then this greed will come.
यदि हम ब्रजवासी के भाव माधुर्य श्रवण नहीं
If we haven't heard about
तो
the
लोभ कहाँ से हो जाएगा आप बताओ
Brajabasi's moods, how can we have greed towards it if we never heard about it, isn't it?
हम जब कथा सुनते हैं
When we listen to the Katha,
हमारे हृदय में
then this appears in our heart. Oh, I wonder this mood also coming in my heart. Gurudev gave an example. Just like suppose Ma Jashoda,
कन्हैया को जो बाल गोपाल को कैसे बंधन कर दिया
she bound Bal Gopal in the grinding mortar. Dambanda Lila. So after listening this Dambanda Lila Katha, if some mood develops in your heart,
भगवान
oh God, Supreme God, Krishna,
उसके माँ जसोदा
his mother, Mother Jashoda, how did she, with a small rope,
बांध दिया
she has bound him? How is it possible?
है? तो इसी कथा को सुनने के लिए आपको क्या होता है
So you will be eager to listen to these stories.
तब वो संत महात्मा के निकट जाकर के
Then you go to the saint, you do pranam.
परिप्रश्न सेवा आदि के द्वारा आप कहोगे
Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena. Then you tell him, tell me this katha please. Which katha? Dambanda Lila, how Mother Jashoda bound Krishna.
इसी प्रकार
Then the saint, seeing your eagerness,
करके
the saint will
बंधन की लीला कथा श्रवण कराएगी
tell you this Dambanda Lila katha.
के पुनः श्रवण करके मन में एक भाव उदित हो
So after listening again, this mood will come in your mind.
नहीं माँ जसोदा के अनुगत्य में
Under the guidance of Mother Jashoda,
कि ऐसे सेवा
I want to serve also Bal Gopal.
देखो सेवा की भावना चाहिए अनुगत्य में ही सेवा
So this Anugata Mai Seva, serve under the guidance.
के बाद ही गोपाल
I don't want to serve, to bind Gopal just like Mother Jashoda. Then this will be Ahangar Bhavapasana.
होनी चाहिए
Like you think you're Mother Jashoda. No. Under the guidance of Mother Jashoda, I want to serve Gopal.
गोपाल की सेवा की भावना हमारे हृदय में उदित हो क्योंकि जब तक हम श्रवण नहीं
Because if we don't listen about these things,
तब तक हमारे हृदय में लोभ उत्पन्न कैसे हो
then how can this greed appear in our hearts?
भक्ति की भी बहुत प्रकार दिखा एक श्रवण जात
Many kinds of bhakti.
प्रेम कहा जाता है
Shravan Jata Prem, another
दर्शन जात प्रेम होता है
Darshan Jata Prem,
और तीसरी क्या
and third,
क्या बताया था
what I told about it.
जात प्रेम
Shravan Jata Prem, Darshan Jata Prem, and
होता है सहजात प्रेम कहा जाता
Sahajata Prem. So one prem comes by seeing Krishna, another by listening about it,
है श्रवण जात
another is
प्रेम में उदित हुआ
automatically and spontaneous.
कथा सुनकर
Who has Darshan Jata Prem? Sorry, Shravan Jata Prem.
रुक्मिणी के
Prema after listening about Krishna. Is example is Rukmini.
देखो कृष्ण की गुण महिमा श्रवण करके
When she listened to the qualities of Krishna,
उसी रात
Rukmini in that same night,
के जय
Rukmini Devi,
शादी किसके साथ होती
she was about to get married to
शिशुपाल से विवाह कर
Shishupal. Shishupal had her brother. Her brother had arranged her marriage to Shishupal, and it was already fixed. The next day, after worshipping Devi, she had to go for a wedding.
देशी आ गए
That same night, Narada Rishi came to Rukmini,
रुक्मिणी के पास आकर के कृष्ण के जो है
and Narada started glorifying Krishna to her.
उसी रात में
So in that same night,
रुक्मिणी देवी ने क्या की
Rukmini Devi, what did she do?
पत्र लिखा
She wrote a letter to Krishna.
पत्र लिखा
She wrote a letter to Krishna.
ये गोविंद
She just wrote, Gobindo,
आज जो शेर के जो भोजन
the food of the lion is going to the charcoal. Hey Govinda, please accept me.
और इतना ही लिख
Krishna understood,
रुक्मिणी देवी ने क्या की एक ब्राह्मण के हाथ में दे
and she
दिया
gave that letter
ब्राह्मण कृष्ण
in the hand of the Brahmana. Brahmana gave it to Krishna. Then the next day,
हरण किया जो रुक्मिणी
Krishna kidnapped Rukmini. We heard this pastime.
इसी प्रकार से श्रवण जात
So Prem is also like this. This is Shravan Jata Prem.
करके
After listening about Krishna, she developed Prem. And then Darshan Jata Prem, who developed Prem after seeing Krishna.
कुब्जा के उदाहरण दे रहे हैं
The example given is about Kubja.
विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती जो कहते जा रहे हैं
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains.
हैं? कृष्ण के प्रति उनके ये नहीं था
Kubja,
कंस के पास जा रहे हैं वो करने के लिए क्या बोलते
she was actually going
हैं? आदि करने के
to decorate Kamsa,
लिए दर्शन करे कृष्ण ने
but she saw Krishna on the way, and Krishna told her, decorate me.
कहा है? और कृष्ण ने क्या सीधी कर दिया जो कथा प्रसंग
But to decorate Krishna, she should be straight, her back, because she was a hunchback. So Krishna made her right, and then she developed Prem towards Krishna after seeing him. But Sahajata Prem, like this spontaneous natural love, is about the gopis. Gopis' love is natural for Krishna. But Jiva Goswami also wrote that
बोले गोपियों के साथ कृष्ण के प्रेम कब उत्पन्न
when actually the gopis started loving Krishna,
बोले
when?
जिस दिन माँ जसोदा
That day when Mother Jashoda, she bound Gopala in the grinding mortar, in Dambanda Lila Katha. is a grinding mortar. That day, Ma Jashoda, she bound Krishna to the grinding mortar with a rope. That day, Krishna was so beautiful, his lotus face crying. He was crying so much. And he was like helpless and standing there. So in this moment, the gopis, they saw from far the situation. Oh, what is going on with Gopal today? And then the gopis, prema appeared in their hearts towards Gopal. Actually, their prema is eternal, yes, but still, Jiva Goswami Pad, he's describing. When did the gopis start loving Krishna? When they saw Krishna being bound by the Mother Jashoda. So the source of prema. So these are very subtle conceptions explained. But actually this love in the gopis' hearts is spontaneous, automatic. Their love is spontaneous and natural, does not manifest by any reason, no. So the prema they have is sahaj, natural. Natural love they have from birth. It's called swata siddha love. Like, so what I want to say is that listening to this katha, then one kind of greed will come in your hearts after you listen. When this greed manifests, then you want to attain that and you will be eager to attain it. This is true. How can I get this prem? Then Raghunath Das Goswami says what? If you want to drown, or if you really want to enter this ocean of Shamaras, you have to follow 3 rules and it's enough, not anything else. Only 3 rules. First, you have to be one-pointed and loyal to the feet of Srimati Radhika, one ekantika nishtha to the feet of Srimati Radhika. Second rule, you have to live in Vrindavana. That's why now you live in Vrindavana. But where to live in Vrindavana? Not anywhere. In the Vrindavana Mahatma explains. Radhatipatta means the places that are governed, ruled by Srimati Radhika, not everywhere. The places where Srimati Radhika rules in Vrindavana, that place you have to stay. So beautiful description. So the places where Srimati Radhika, she reigns or rules in Vrindavan. Third rule, listen Hari Katha, always associate with these great exalted saints that are absorbed in the moods of Srimati Radhika. These Rasik and exalted saints. Listen this Rasa Madhurya Katha under their guidance. Then you can attain. Rupa Goswami describes. So the speciality of doing sadhana bhajan in Vrindavana. So I'll just come back to the beginning of the video. So you're in the middle of your Harikatha, started raining. So you're happy, the gods are happy. So don't go out from Vrindavana, they're saying. So I'll come back to the beginning of the video. Just for 4 minutes we lost the translation. Nice or not? Just the first minutes. So Mahaprabhu asked to Raya Ramananda, what is the highest goal? Raya Ramananda told, to follow varnashrama dharma, this pleases Vishnu. Because first Mahaprabhu asked to Raya Ramananda, what is the sadya and sadhan? What is the sadya? Quoting the Shastra. Tell me what is the highest goal. Having received this instruction, Raya Ramananda told, to follow your duties. He said, those who follow their duties. So Raya Ramananda told, Raya Ramananda said, if somebody fulfills their prescribed duties in his social life, then their original Krishna consciousness will develop. Mahaprabhu said this is external. So, but Gurudev is saying, first you have to establish what is your goal. Sadya vastu. Without sadhana, you cannot reach the sadya, the goal. But you have to know what is the goal. You have to know what is the ultimate goal. In English they say, what is the aim of life? What is your aim of life? So if first of all you haven't established what is your goal of life, then your life cannot be successful later. So first, what should you do in your life? You have to establish that to fix that. Like also if you need to go somewhere, if you need to buy some tickets, suppose. If you're going to buy some plane tickets, first you must fix your destination. Where you're going, Where you're going. Then you can buy some tickets. Oh, you're going to Calcutta, to Bombay. Where are you going? You have to know. You have to decide. You are going to England. Where are you going to? So in the same way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked to Raya Ramananda, what is the goal of life for the jivas? Please tell me. Raya Ramananda gave a beautiful answer. If we follow varnashrama dharma, then you can worship God in this way. You cannot please God without following varnashrama dharma. This shloka explains. In this context, for in Mathura for some days we have been discussing about this. So in this part I was already translating, so I'll stop here. Jai Srila Gurudev.